Okay, people, it's 10:01 and we are ready to get started. All right, so I just want to say hello and welcome to everyone. Thank you all so much for being here this morning. Just so you're aware, we will be recording this event and it will be posted live on our Facebook page. So we are currently streaming live. So my name is Natalie Tate, and I'm just one of the 4 core team members of the Ottawa Young Black Professionals, or more affectionately known as YBP. In case you're hearing about us for the first time, we are a networking organization focused on providing young Black professionals with access to mentorship, coaching, and knowledge sharing opportunities, also encouraging young Black professionals to lead, inspire, and create opportunities for others in their respective fields. And also we're about supporting ideas and initiatives that position our members and community for success. So while we emphasize support for young Black professionals, we are an open group that welcomes participation from the broader professional community as well. So before we go any further, we'd like to acknowledge that Ottawa is located on the unceded territory of the Algonquin and Anishinaabe Nation, and we express our respect to all First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples for their valuable contributions, past and present, to this country. If you're joining us from somewhere else, please feel free to do your own acknowledgement. We also want to recognize that we are in the middle of the United Nations Decade for People of African Descent, and acknowledging this as an opportunity to promote the significant contributions made by people of African descent to Canada, to secure concrete measures to enable our full inclusion in Canadian society, and to dismantle anti-Black racism in all its forms. And as YBP, we'll be doing our best to contribute to all of those. So today we are hosting this event and those that we are planning in the future to provide a platform for Black professionals to showcase their business or profession, to speak to their successes, their challenges, and risks they've experienced, and to also offer important lessons learned that can positively influence the direction of those of us on a similar path. So it's about informing and inspiring. So at this time, I'd like to introduce the rest of the team so that you can get to know a little bit more about them as well. So Sem, handing it over to you.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining. My name is Sem. I'm a data architect at a tech consulting firm. And I got involved with YBP because I just wanted to help build that pipeline, right, for the Black youth and help them become Black professionals so that we have more of us in more executive and high positions. So again, thanks for joining us.
Hello, my name is Daniel Lachance. I'm a marketing professional living here in Ottawa. And I joined the Ottawa YBP to help in their mission to, with my marketing skills to help reach the Black community here in Ottawa and help the YBP in their mission.
Hi, everyone. My name is Keisha. I'm a manager of operations at an executive recruitment firm. And I joined YBP as I was seeking a group that I can contribute to the progression of the Black community, more specifically in the professional sectors. So our guest today is a self-made business woman and a trailblazing visionary behind Stacey Martin Lifestyle. This founder, designer, and CEO pushes fashion forward, manufacturing comfortable high fashion apparel ethically and sustainably in Canada. So a warm welcome to Stacey Martin. Thank you for joining us today. Following our interview with Stacey, the audience will have the opportunity to ask questions So during the session, please drop your question into the chat box. As you can see, there's a feature below. At the end of our session, we'll try our best to address as many questions as we can. So without further ado, let's get into it.
All right. Well, thank you, Stacey, for joining us this wonderful Saturday morning.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
I was watching some of your past interviews, and I heard you were saying about how your mother she had inspired you on this fashion journey, or sparked the interest. Can you tell us more about how that spark became of the fashion world?
Sure. My mom is a beautiful fashionista. She is always dressed to the nines, and she really taught me about how you present yourself, and that's how people see yourself, how people see you. So she's been really impactful in that. My mom also taught me how to sew from a young age, so I was able to sew my own products, whether it was, even my grade 8 grad dress. I was that girl who would sew that and put that together. And we would always watch fashion television and different fashion shows, and really loved that with her. But I think in the industry in general, my mom was very impactful by seeing what I had within me and never capturing that, never making it that I couldn't express it. She would always tell me to go towards my dreams. And I think that's really what's most important, is that she saw that I loved fashion. She saw that I loved dance, and she kept allowing me to do that. And she never said, don't do that, Stacey, it's only creative. She kept pushing it and really, really allowing me to honor my craft. And she was able to see that within me.
Wow.
Thank you, Stacey. It's interesting to see how our background or our surroundings inspire us to take that leap of faith into something that we're interested in. And more so, we heard that you have a bit of a dancing background. How did you take that risk? What influenced you to take that jump and move into the fashion industry?
I love dance. Dance is my first love. I've been a professional dancer since I was 17 years old, dancing in cruise ships and on Broadway, film and television. The thing about dancing, though, is that though I was self-employed as a dancer, I was still having to go through the direction of my agency or what the production wanted to be showing. Whereas as a fashion designer, I was able to make my own rules. I was able to make my own designs. And so when I started designing, I was actually still a dancer. I wasn't doing it thinking that I was going to do it as a career. I was just doing it as a self-expression to make clothes that looked great on my body, to really suit who I am. And then I realized as I was doing it, that I can actually now really express it. I can make my own calendar. I can really scale to the level that I want to, or scale back if I didn't. So it was really the transition of being able to kind of pave my own path and have my own journey that really made me go into the fashion industry.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Daniel?
Yes. So I was, as I was saying, I was looking at your past interviews. I know you used to go by, I guess your brand used to be Kenya. And, I saw that transition happen from Kenya to Stacey Martin Lifestyle. And I was wondering, I guess what is the difference between one and the other, and what brought about that changing of branding?
Right. Well, one of the first reasons was in the name itself. Kenya means light, and it was about finding the light that's within you, which I really love, but people could never remember the name. They would say Kenya, Kenya, Kanye. They'd ask me if I was from Kenya, and there was all these different things, and I said, no, that's not it. And I was in St. Kitts and Nevis, and I was doing a fashion show production, pitched to them over there, and the High Commissioner asked me, can I call you Stacey Martin? And when I heard it, I thought, oh my goodness, I am Stacey Martin. That is my name. This is my heritage. And I can really bring in an extension of who I am into the brand. And it's not really just about the clothing, whereas Kenya was really made about the product itself. Stacey Martin Lifestyle is about my lifestyle. It's about being a Black female. It's about my Caribbean background. It's about being able to move freely towards what matters most to you in your life. So the real difference is that Kenya was a product-based company, and Stacey Martin Lifestyle is designed to be a corporation and to really envelop all the things that I am in my life and to really extend that to others as well.
That's wonderful, Stacey. Thank you. More so in terms of your product, I'm a person that loves comfort and style. So I recognize that through your designs. I've read on your profile that you designed each piece on your body to ensure a perfect fit for movement and comfort. Why do you feel that is important part of your brand?
First off, I think because most designers don't design on our body type. A lot of times I would put clothing on and I'd say, well, I have a small waist, but I've got hips, I've got a butt, and I want to be able to wear clothing that can suit my full body. And that's where I really started designing it on my body so it would reflect me and reflect my body. And with the fabric itself, it was really about having fabric that allows you to move. So many times you see people who look gorgeous in their outfits, whether male or female, and they look really nice, but they're so uncomfortable. And you know that they just want to rip that thing off when they get home. So I thought, why can't we have clothing that can blend both? Why can't I have a product that can really be polished and look amazing on my body, to be, you know, figure formed on what I'm wearing, but also to have the sustainability and the movability so that I can move freely towards what that is in my life that really, really matters.
And I love that about it. You know, you really found your niche. You differentiate yourself from other businesses, from other fashion designers in that sense. And I think that's key for any entrepreneur, you know, to have your niche. And you know, in line with that, in line with your business, you know, you recently launched the Front Funder, and I was wondering if you could share that with us, if you could tell us more about it, give us more information.
So I realized in my company I was doing really well where I was with Kenya, but in order to go to the next level, I had to scale my brand. And I looked at all these top leading fashion companies and I'd wonder, how did they get there? I've been working so hard, I've been recognized so much, and I didn't realize, you know, hustle and grind and dedication wasn't all that you needed in order to grow a business. What you actually need is capital. And most of these big companies, they have 30, 40, 50 million dollars worth of capital to start their companies to get where they are today. So I really, really wanted to gain capital for my company, and doing it through venture capital funding as a female entrepreneur, it's actually 0.2% chance of even getting funding. The opportunity is so low that I went the route of equity crowdfunding. So that's through Front Funder. So Front Funder allows people of any walk of life to be able to get people in the community to invest in their company for as low as $250, going all the way up to whatever they wanted to invest. But this allows opportunity for the entrepreneur to gain investors. And it also allows the opportunity for investors to invest, because most of the time, it's always the same people who are investing in the same products, which is why their wealth continues to grow. So this is kind of giving the opportunity for me to say, hey, I can now raise this capital this way, but it also gives an opportunity for a whole nother group to be potential investors as well.
And it's interesting that you're explaining that it's not a donation, it's really you contributing, all of us contributing to a brand. And I think that's important to express inclusivity, especially when it comes to uplifting or the progression of a Black brand such as yourselves. So could you share more details about your brand and Front Funder and how we can take part in the progression of Stacey Martin lifestyle?
Yeah, of course. So I have put together my whole pitch deck, which I've been pitching for the last 30 days. And I would love to present it to you guys because it really gives you an opportunity to see everything that the brand encompasses, from the branding itself, but also to the opportunity that you guys have. So I'm going to share my screen here and I'll go ahead and present it for you. And just 1 second, here we go. Oh, I'm not able to share it right now. It's telling me that I'm, oh, there you go.
It's crazy with technology.
There you have it.
Perfect.
Okay, are you able to see it now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you guys for allowing me this opportunity to share Stacey Martin lifestyle. This is really about who we are, where we are, and why I am so passionate about your involvement. So again, to begin from the top, I am Stacey Martin. I am founder and CEO of Stacey Martin Lifestyle. It's a Canadian looks loungewear apparel company that really bridges the gap between fitness and fashion apparel. I started designing when I was a dancer on Broadway. I would see the vision of fashion being so beautiful, but like I said, seeing people that were so uncomfortable in their clothing. And I thought, how can we have a brand that blends both? And at that time, I started my company called Kenya. Fast forward to 2020, in the middle of the pandemic, I rebranded the company to Stacey Martin Lifestyle. And that was really for two reasons. One, to be more of an extension of who I am. And the second was to really combat and take hold of the fashion industry and be one of the top industry leaders. So the fashion industry in Canada is a $30 billion market, and it's often overlooked by investors. So my goal for Stacey Martin Lifestyle is to take on the fashion industry in a new and exciting and profitable way, and to have anybody who was able to invest at the beginning to vastly grow and to vastly benefit. So Stacey Martin Lifestyle currently has a pre-money valuation of $5.5 million, and we're raising $1 million for 18%, and we're doing this through equity crowdfunding, through Fund Funder, like we just mentioned. So this gives the opportunity to anybody in the community to be an investor, to grow their wealth, and to potentially see a very sizable return. This is so important because systemically there's always been wealth inequalities. Having business ownership is a crucial way that we can close that wealth gap and afford the opportunities that we deserve as Black entrepreneurs. So the company is scalable, and it's going to attain its expansion by being the solution to many of the problems that we have currently in the fashion industry. So brick and mortar stores closing, suffering for fashion being a thing of the past, people being skeptical about spending their money on cheap disposable garments that are polluting our environment, systemic racism, and overall lack of diversity and inclusion. With only 14% of major fashion brands being run by a female executive and less than 0.2% of Black female entrepreneurs receiving capital funding, I understand that I'm at a disadvantage, but I am so ready to conquer this and to be ready to be a change and a vision of that change in the narrative. So Stacey Martin Lifestyle will reinvent the look of luxury and reinvent the look of comfort. There's a lot of fitness brands and there's a lot of fashion brands, but there's none that sit right in the middle, highlighting body positivity, sustainability, and self-love, allowing you to feel beautiful and comfortable at the same time. The way that we design the products and make the products uses technology. So it's a whole digital production process that mitigates a lot of the production errors and inventory waste. This includes digital rendering, digital patterns, and digital cutting. We're also looking into putting a feature of photo recognition into the products. So if you saw me in my piece right now, you can take a photo of me. Instead of having to ask where I got that piece, if you're with a friend or whatnot, they can actually take a photo and it would bring them straight to the website so that they can check out right away. So what the product is made of is just as important as the design itself. So many times we have these beautiful designs, but the fabric is just not great. So we all Stacey Martin pieces are designed with sustainable fabrics. It's the pieces that touch your skin. Fabric feels incredible and really impacts the way you feel. So we use sustainable fabrics. This is eucalyptus fiber, organic cotton, rayon from bamboo. It's materials that are breathable and feel so soft against your skin. The entire brand is made in Canada, and that process is from the design, the manufacturing, the production, and the fulfillment. Being made right here in Canada supports the Canadian economy. It provides for faster lead times. It allows us to manufacture smaller batch runs and limited editions. And it also allows for us to be more efficient without having to navigate language barriers, multiple time zones, or shipping restrictions. So one of the most exciting elements for me, for Stacey Martin Lifestyle, is our official collaboration with Nevis Tourism Authority. Nevis is my heritage, and I'm honored to bring a piece of that island into the brand. So Stacey Martin Lifestyle is branded to feel like the Caribbean and all the magical things that you feel when you're on vacation. So it's not about designing resort clothing per se, but it's about capturing the feeling and the essence when you're there. Now, the business advantage to having a collaboration with Nevis Tourism Authority is that it extends the market directly into the Caribbean. Nevis Tourism Authority will gift high-profile tourists and travelers pieces of our clothing. We're also going to be doing cross-marketing with the PR and social channels in the UK, the US, and the Caribbean. So a little bit about my history. I've been in the industry for 15 years. I have generated $1 million as a solopreneur in revenue, selling out of my car and at trade shows. I've been recognized by New York Fashion Week, World MasterCard Fashion Week, and Project Las Vegas. I have thousands of customers, but in order to really scale this brand and to take it to the next level to where I know it could be, we can make big strides. We need capital, and I want to do that together. So my goal is to compete with the top multi-million-dollar Canadian fashion brands. So we're talking about Lululemon, Lolé, Aritzia, Canada Goose and Rudsack, and so many more. The way that we're going to stand out from this group is that we are going to be the only ones that's made in Canada, the only one that is an eco-conscious company, the only one that really is designed to bridge that gap between comfort and style, the only one that is run by a female leader, run by a minority leader, and that is also 18% community owned. So in a $30 billion Canadian fashion industry, just 1% of the market would equal $300 million in sales. In a country that has millions of women who want to look great and feel amazing, I know that we can hit this milestone and so much more. So I have a quote here from CNBC just to put things into perspective. If you were to invest $1,000 into Lululemon in 2009, within a 10-year span, your investment would be worth over $20,000. Investing in fashion or in any other industry is a risk, but with great risk can come great reward. So we're raising $1 million, and this is through equity crowdfunding. But instead of doing it through the traditional venture capitals, we're doing it through equity crowdfunding. So each person becomes an investor, become a shareholder in the brand. With the use of proceeds, we're going to be doing it in 4 different areas. So one is to hire new team members, to produce inventory, to execute marketing, and for operations. And we're looking for social responsible investors. These are people who are seeking to look at the financial growth, but also the greater good that this company will represent. On a personal level, I would love for this company to rise and to have a large percentage of all the investors to be from the Black community. Investment size, as I said, start at $250. So it doesn't matter if this is your very, very first investment or if you're a seasoned investor. I know that together we will be very successful and in the process be a beautiful representation of diversity, of inclusion, of environmental initiatives. And I know that together, by reinventing the look of luxury and reinventing the look of comfort, we can have a very lucrative future. So I ask you all if you would join me and would you invest in Stacey Martin Lifestyle?
Very interesting. Thanks for sharing that with us, Stacey. And I also wanted to say we put it in the chat for if people want to go and see the front funder, more information and stuff like that. They can just click the link in the chat, and your opportunity, your business opportunity that you're sharing with us is right there.
Amazing, thank you.
So we have a few more questions. We're gonna ask from the crowd also if they have some questions for you, but we also have our questions. We're wondering, like, as a Black entrepreneur, what does it mean to you to be I guess female Black entrepreneur? What does that entail? How is that unique?
It means a lot. It's I never really realized how impactful it is. When I've been in this industry for 15 years, as I was saying, and I was doing I recently did a pitch. I was in a finalist for a Rise Up pitch competition. And when I was in the finals, I was talking about what it's like being a Black female entrepreneur and in the fashion industry. And I've never worked with anybody who looks like me in 15 years on the executive levels. So we're talking anyone in production, fulfillment, manufacturing, any of the top levels are always white males. So for me to be a Black female in this industry on that level would be so impactful. But it's not so much just about me, myself, it's about what I'm able to do and who I'm able to bring up with me. I think it's so important to have representation and for you to be able to see somebody who looks like you in order to want to achieve that thing. So for me to be there, it's just really being a pinnacle of something that's not there already, but also the impact that I'm able to have to bring people up with me as well.
Okay.
Thank you, Stacey. I resonate with everything that you just said, especially working in the corporate world and also being in a wardrobe stylist in the fashion industry as well. I think it's time to see more people that look like us and help each other elevate, whether it's fashion, real estate, any kind of sector. I think it's really important to see us all thrive in all aspects of life. Also, could you give us more details in terms of why is it important for us to own? Why is it important for us to invest?
For sure. I think that when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, when you look at wealth and looking at growing your wealth, it's really through ownership and investment. We are kind of taught overall to just work harder, to work hustle and work for somebody is what we're kind of taught to do naturally. But when you own, your money can continue to grow itself. And from that money, you can use equity to purchase other things. And that's how your money continues to keep growing. Even home ownership or owning another business, once my company can scale and then I can purchase other things with that same money, with the equity, then you can continue to have your wealth growing. And I think that's so important for us to understand, because we normally just think about working harder at where we are and just continuing to steamroll through and hustle, where it's really about owning things, which is really where we can really rise.
Thank you so much, Stacey. I think we had a great, a lot of people can take away a lot of things that you've discussed throughout this session. And it looks like we have a few questions in our chat that we'd love to discuss. Let's see here. Breaking down on what we heard, can you tell us the status of the front funder and what steps people can take in part to be part of this journey?
Yeah, so to go to the front funder page, it's all done online. So it's a whole digital process, which most of the time when you do investments, you're going through lawyers and paperwork that you have to have on hand. This is all done online. So you're going to go to the website, which is frontfunder.com/Stacey Martin. And once you go there, you'll see the different perk levels from $250 all the way up. There's different levels. Each perk level that you can invest into gives you a product, which is nice. You're gonna have a exclusive product to the brand and a discount into the brand as well, but you'll also get official shares into the company. So they'll be able to, when you get the information, it will tell you at how much, the shares are $4.59 a share. It will tell you how much shares that you actually are ownership in the brand itself. And so it's all done legally. It doesn't go through me. We have Western Trust Pacific Company, that's the trust fund that holds all the money, and Front Funder, which is out of Vancouver. But it's just really streamlined that it's all done within the website itself.
That's perfect. Yeah, I'm always looking for a way to diversify my income. So this is awesome. And I think a lot of you that are participating in this session today could take away from this. You don't need to be a fashionista. You don't need to be in the fashion industry. It's more so just how we could contribute to elevating.
I also wanted to mention, it's also about diversifying your portfolio. A lot of people have said to me that they don't have liquid cash right now. And I understand that, you know, it's harder right now, especially during COVID, but we're looking at also Stacey Martin Lifestyle is RRSP and TFSA eligible. So what that means is that if you have an existing RRSP or you have an existing TFSA, you can actually open up the Stacey Martin Lifestyle RRSP or TFSA and move the money from one to the other without actually using any of your liquid cash. So it's just now your investment is going to be shifted over. And if you didn't want to do that, and you also just wanted to get the tax benefits that the government gives you, you can actually also open up your own, a new RRSP or TFSA within Stacey Martin Lifestyle. And that when you open it, you'll get all the benefits, the tax benefits that the government gives when you do have a new RRSP or TFSA.
Oh, that's very interesting from also from like a tax perspective, how, you know, there is a benefit there. So we were talking, last time we talked, you were saying how, explaining how fashion evolves through important milestones in society. And I was just wondering if you could share with us, like, how you think fashion will change due to this pandemic, and I guess how Stacey Martin, I guess how it plays into that.
Yeah, so fortunately, I'm a fashion designer that designs fabric, that's sweatshirt and t-shirt fabrics. That's what I do, and that's what I've been doing for 15 years. And I'm fortunate for that reason, because I really feel that the timing is perfect for this brand, because everybody has been a year going, hope maybe 2, we'll see how it goes, in sweatshirts, t-shirts, and pajamas, you know, being comfortable. It's going to, when we get back into the workforce, people are not going to want to be uncomfortable anymore. People are also looking at the sustainability. They're looking at the impact that clothing has. It's very polluting on the environment. So I think the brand message and where the brand is today, that it makes clothes that are beautiful and comfortable at the same time, also has the social consciousness of, you know, low impact dyes and manufacturing for the product itself, and also the social responsibility to have the diversity and inclusion. It's just the perfect timing right now for this brand to grow.
Oh, that's really great. Yeah, I agree with that. I think, and I think it also makes it a even better opportunity for us all. I was thinking, you know, because I have a background actually in the entertainment industry, and some of my mentors, you know, they're necessarily older than me, and they were telling me how, you know, from when they were younger to today, how their career, anyways, their day-to-day job, it changed because technologies evolve, internet, or just, it can be even in the music industry, it can be, for example, the MP3 that changed everything, you know. From one day it was the CD sales, and then all of a sudden nobody buys CDs anymore, and everyone had to readjust. And of course, in the fashion industry, we see that you know, big brands are closing their shops, you know. So we're seeing this big shift. What are your thoughts on how, like, I guess, what is a winning formula, or what no longer works, what works today?
I think in general, when you look at, you know, fashion was never meant to be comfortable. Fashion was meant to be opulent and gorgeous, and, you know, on waif models walking on runways. And I think fashion has changed. To me, fashion and luxury fashion is about having the luxury to live your life beautifully, no matter what you are doing, no matter what your body shape, size is, no matter what your age is. I feel like there's so much that's in fashion that wasn't there before. But I feel like if you look at a company like Nike, for example, you know, there was a time when Nike running shoes, when they first started their company, that those shoes were only made for fitness. Running shoes were made to run, and running shoes came into being part of lifestyle. They became part of walking around in everyday life. And that was a big transition at that time in history. I feel the same way that this is going to be with Stacey Martin Lifestyle. People don't think about wearing sweatsuits to work, but if you see me right now, I have on a full, you know, tailored blazer and pencil skirt, and it's all made out of organic cotton sweatsuit material. So it's, you know, French terry. So I feel really comfortable, like I'm in a t-shirt or pajamas, but I don't look it. So I feel people will really want to go into that transition, whether it's in a dress, something like that, or a wrap like this. They can still be really comfy, but look good at the same time. I think there's going to be a really big transition into that world when COVID is over.
Thank you.
And I have to say, well, that looks very professional, what you're wearing. It looks clean. It looks, it doesn't look like pajamas, you know?
But it feels like pajamas.
Can you talk about, we noticed that you have some pieces behind you. Is there anything in particular that's something that you can talk about in terms of?
I just go like this so you can see me. So this piece here is a wrap dress, but it actually doesn't wrap. It's already made to wrap. I did it specifically, like I said, that everything is made on my body. So I made it specifically so that the draping comes over here on the belly, so it covers any midsection that you might not want to cover. Low plunge front, which you can close or you can keep open. The arms are easily up or down, and it's one side high and one low. This is made out of bamboo and eucalyptus fiber fabrics, organic cotton. So it's super comfortable, but you can also be really polished and look nice. This piece here in the back is 2 pieces actually. There's a jumper, that's a 1-piece jumper made out of a sweatshirt material. This is organic cotton French terry, and a tailored blazer that's sleeveless. So you can be in almost like a power suit, but still be in something that's really comfortable. And then this here is one of our most popular pieces. It's called my signature wrap. We have it, this one is in eucalyptus fiber, has a full hoodie here so that you can wear it with a full hood and it can come down. But the whole idea is that, you know, sometimes you don't want to be wearing a traditional hoodie. This allows you to wear a hoodie still, wraps through the body. Many women like to feel that kind of, like they're swaddled and wrapped through their midsection. It feels really nice. All the pieces are machine wash and dry, so they're easy to take care of. And we have them with some leggings here, which are made out of recycled water bottles.
Wow, out of recycled water bottles.
Yeah, so if I use anything that is synthetic, I try to use it also that it's eco-friendly or sustainable as well.
That's excellent. Yeah, I know it's on everyone's mind. So, you know, more and more, I think every generation is more and more. If you talk to the children today, they're much more conscious of the environment and the impact that we have on it.
Okay, so
we had a question.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Question in the chat. You are at 36% of your target. What happens if, God forbid, your investments don't reach your goal or you don't reach your goal?
Yeah, so good question. Definitely. So the first target is to reach 200,000, and that is 200. Once I reach the 200,000, I'm allowed to go forward with the company. That is the limit. If it doesn't reach 200,000, everybody who's invested will get their money back. After that, I can decide at what level, if I want to continue to go with the company forward with the 200,000, or if I want to continue to raise. My goal right now, my ambition is to really get to that $1 million mark. Whether it's 250 people or $250 at 4,000 people, or $1,000, 1,000 people. I just feel like with the timing and the push and the different people we have, we'll still make that mark. That is my goal. But if we don't, I just have to refigure whether or not I will continue to raise after this raise is closed, or if I will start with the equity that we do have right now. I am able to start as I was. I've been able to scale the business. I was able to run for 15 years just by slowly snowballing the company, which is great. And I know that I can do that. But my goal is to really reach the top echelon of what fashion can be, to be part of what those fashion leaders are. And like I was saying before, they're getting 30, 40, and $50 million of investment. So with the 1 million, it really allows us to just springboard to get to that level without just doing a slow snowball.
And we appreciate your transparency on that. I think everybody wants to know where their money goes and
Sure, yeah.
invested. So I do really admire how transparent you are with your brand and how in your initiatives in terms of your brand. There's a bit of a comment and a couple questions. I'll start with the comment and Daniel will take it away with the questions. Stacey, you're such an inspiration. Your intelligence, work ethic, and innovative way of thinking about entrepreneurship and investing is both refreshing and exciting. Keep working your craft. You will enjoy major success.
Thank you so much. You know, I appreciate it. It means more than you guys would ever know. It's hard to be recognized and taken seriously as a Black female entrepreneur. And it sounds ridiculous because people have been watching me and saying, oh, she always doing these things that it's so successful. But on a level that people will come into my storefront here and they'll ask me who's the business owner, and I'll tell them that it's me. and they'll say, no, I'm looking for the business owner. And I say, well, that's me. And they'll say, no, I'm looking for the business owner. And I have to say, that's me, and we really have a very, very a big difficulty being seen. And so to know that I'm being able to inspire, to know that I'm able to be seen it just means the world to me, because that is really my intention and what I want, and to be able to bring up others, because I am not a token person in this category. It's just that I might be one of the first to do it, and I want to bring up the others with me as well.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
We have a question here from someone. Your products are primarily female driven right now, as you plan to develop a men's line in the next couple of years.
Yes.
What will the men's line look like, and what kind of pieces?
I've started doing the men's line already. It's going to be great. I find it's funny, a lot of men come and shop with their girlfriends or for their girlfriends or wives or whatnot, and they love it. And I feel like men will actually resonate really well with the brand, because they'll buy multiples as they normally do. And they love to be comfortable, so that's great. The men's line will be a same extension as to what the female line is. So we're talking about tailored blazers, joggers that are, joggers, but a bit more polished, much more tailored. And the whole idea is that my first men's line collection is going to be called Him, but whatever he can do or wear, she can too. So I make sure that anything that I do make for him is designed on him, but I could also wear it. So anything that the women can also wear too. So it's a bit of not a unisex line, but it's designed for him that she can wear.
It's a win-win for me. So in terms of your products, what are the fabrics manufactured, and what is the environmental impact in getting it to Canada for production?
Yeah, great question. So a lot of the fabrics I was talking about being sustainable, we do have a very eco-conscious company here, where we're trying to stay at 90% eco-conscious. Most of the fabrics are actually milled here in Canada as well. So people just think that I go to the regular fabric store and purchase fabric. We don't. We actually go to the fabric mills. There's mills in Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver. We use the 3 different mills in those different locations. I specify the specifications for each product. So if I want there to be a stretchability or no stretch, or if it's eucalyptus fiber, organic cotton, bamboo, whatnot, we actually specify what fibers are going into the material that's spun. We also specify how thick the material is going to be spun. So if I want a featherweight, if I want a thick fabric, or if I want something that's fleecy, we get to specify all those different specifications. We do have to produce more fabric that way, but it really allows us to ensure that the fabric doesn't have any fillers in it. This is why the fabric doesn't get all bally. It makes the fabric really, really last a long time. And it also allows us to know how the fabric is made and what it's made of.
And we've got a question here, and I think this question really is going to speak to a lot of people, because I know there's a lot of people who want to join the fashion industry, either because of the pandemic, they're thinking of branching out, or because maybe they're younger and they have this dream, maybe they watched Next in Fashion and they so the question is, how did you get your start in the fashion industry?
I got my start, like I said, just because I saw a niche in the market. I was a dancer. I'm a petite sort of body, but I'm curvy. And I was really, when I'd go dancing, I was bigger than the other girls, and I wouldn't just be able to wear what they would wear. So I would always make my own clothes. And that's really how I started. I started looking at patterns. I started looking at how things can be put together, how I can be innovative and different in what I wanted to wear and how I wanted to wear it. And that's really how I started in the industry. It's not the norm, but I feel like if you really go into innately with what you're good at, sometimes the answers are already there within you. And I think that's really good. But one thing I do want to say, though, is that it's not just about young entrepreneurs. I feel we always look about, people who are starting, we have to be 20, 30, heaven forbid if you're 30 and you want to start something. That is not the way. I feel like at any point in time, no matter where you are in your life, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have a vision of something greater than you are right now, go for it. Just go for it. If it's in there, I feel like if you've been able to see it, you're able to dream it, you can actually do it. And that's what you have to do. And don't stop yourself because you've passed the young 20s. You could be young in your entrepreneurship world. You don't necessarily have to be young in age.
No, I completely agree. I think whatever dream that you have in terms of whatever it is that you try to pursue, I think you should just do it. It doesn't matter how old you are and what you're doing at the present moment. How do you feel about people working a corporate job or a 9-to-5 and also having an interest in pursuing their side hustle, let's say?
Yeah, I've talked to many friends in that situation. I have never been in that situation. I've actually been self-employed my whole life. So from high school, I was a professional dancer, from dancing to fashion. I've never had a formal job other than 3 weeks at Loblaws when I worked over there as a cashier. So I don't have that experience myself, but from talking to friends, I do hear that it's harder because you have the security of a job, you have the security of the benefits. It's hard to sort of really think about how do you branch out into something when you don't have that safety net. I never had the safety net, so I just had to work and drive, be determined right from the get-go without having anything to fall back on. But I just feel like anybody who wants to go for it, they still should. It's harder to kind of toe dip. It's harder to kind of try it a little bit. I feel like you have to go for it. You have to believe it and to know that when you go for it, it's not going to be easy. This is not easy. I'm trying to raise $1 million during COVID in a short amount of time. It's not easy, and I'm not going to say that it is, but when you believe in it wholeheartedly, and you believe in it, not your friends, not your parents, not your spouse or whatnot, when you wholeheartedly believe in what you can do, you can go out there and you can achieve the unimaginable if you just go. So if you're in that job and you're thinking that I want to do something else, maybe just take that chance. I don't know. I think you should just take the chance, because you'll just, if you don't try, you'll never know. Yeah. And that's really what it comes down to.
I agree.
Yeah, I think it is harder when you've already built something, and like, yeah, I mean, let's say your career and stuff like that, and then I guess there's a stability, and you don't want to risk that, or you have people depending on you because of that. So there is
really understand that fully, like you letting go of a sure thing to go into something that you don't really know. It's a very, very difficult situation. I honor anyone who does that and was able to do that. I never had that, so I just always had to do my own thing. It's a different transition for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For those who want to buy your products, there was a question about where is your brick and mortar store and also the online, like purchasing online.
Yeah, so my store is at 145 York Street in Ottawa. It's downtown in the market. We're closed for lockdown, but we're also closed because we're doing the rebrand. So all the Kenya products were online, and you were able to purchase the ends of it. We may have a couple sales that pop up for the ends of those as well, but I've actually decided not to produce any Stacey Martin lifestyle branding pieces or company collection pieces until the company is funded. I want to do an official launch and not just do the snowball that I've been doing. So my goal is to have the company funded by the end of May, to do production during the summer months, and to do the launch. We've also been talking to Nevis Tourism Authority to do the launch in Nevis and to have a digital fashion show, which would be shown over digitally on social media channels, of course, through to Canada, the US. And it will be a fashion show that will be happening in October, is when we're looking to launch the full collection. And that's when you can purchase at that point.
Okay. There's another question here.
Awesome.
What that's sorry?
It's too bad.
Oh, I didn't hear what you said.
There's a question here. This is a very well thought out through organization? Are there other ways we can help propel you forward? Anything that we can do to help? I know there's a front funder. Is there anything else?
The front funder would be the main, of course, because that's where you can grow your wealth and also the company can gain the equity. But really the help is in sharing, is in talking, is about sharing the information. We will be sending out a post wrap up of all the information that I've said here. It's a lot to digest, I understand that. So, but don't feel free to just, feel free to share it to whomever, whether it's a friend, a family member, whatnot, to just talk about it in conversation. I feel that the more that we can have conversations about investment, about money, about growing wealth, about, going to a higher level is just really important. And that is a huge way that you can help Stacey Martin Lifestyle as a whole. You can help myself and also help others as well.
Okay. That's great. So that's great information that you're sharing with us for how we can help. I've got a question here about I guess it's more about your the fashion design and the looks that you're going for. They say outstanding, truly. At some point, will you incorporate Caribbean madras and African fabric in your clothing? This would be a great way to honor and support the UN decade for people of African descent.
Sure. I don't know exactly if I will do that. I may. I will. I love the idea of having collaborations. So my goal right now is to have as many collaborations as possible. We're starting with Nevis Tourism Authority, and what my goal is for that, for example, is that we'll be having specific pieces that will highlight certain areas in Nevis. So if somebody were to purchase that piece, and let's just imagine they purchased the piece and it's called White Sands, it will look like White Sands. There'll be a message in the story of what that place was in the product, and there's also a QR code that can bring them visually to that place. My goal is to have a collaboration with many of the islands in the CARICOM, or all of the islands in the CARICOM, which would be great. And then going into Africa would be amazing, having different collaborations and really bring in the essence of that area through clothing. It allows people to almost travel through their clothes and to really know that they can take a piece and remember where they wore it, and they can actually remember where they were when they had it, or kind of travel to that area without going there.
I think that's beautiful. And as you just said, like a partnership, it helps. And, they say, what is it? Teamwork makes the dream work, partnership is key.
100%. You cannot do this alone. I say, I've been doing this sort of alone, but it's not alone. There's many people working behind the scenes who I respect and honor 100%. I value them beyond measure, because you can't do this alone. What comes from you alone is the idea and the dream and the vision. And that's the one that you have to keep so whole and so like nurtured and not let anybody, impact it. But actually to make it work, you need the team. You need a team, you need community, you need people who are with you, who believe in you, who are wholeheartedly on the same path as you, in order to make it go to where it needs to get to.
And on that topic, when it comes to partnerships, what's the process like for like partnering with Canadian fashion organizations, for example, Canadian Arts and Fashion Awards, Black Designers of Canada?
Mm-hmm. The process, I would say to ask. It sounds ridiculous, but I would say just to ask. I have, like I said, I was just talking about the Nevis Tourism Authority collaboration. And how did I get that? I asked. I saw a vision that I wanted to do. I saw a collaboration that I wanted to have, and I asked. Same thing when we did all the clothing for Blues Fest, for example. And it was really about telling them your vision and asking. I feel like so many times we don't ask for what we want. We kind of keep it within ourselves in a hope that it's going to happen. Whereas if you actually just have the vision and go out there and ask the person, maybe it might happen. Maybe you'll be able to get that thing to work out.
So it just basically a big part of it is, you have to just knock at that door. and being present is already a big part of it.
It's courage. It's very, very courageous to ask. It sounds incredible. Like when I started this capital raise, for example, I have a business advisor I'm working with. He scaled his company from 30,000 to $1 billion in 6 years. And he's teaching me the framework to be able to grow my brand the same way. And when he first asked me how much money I would need to scale the company, I thought, oh, maybe 100,000. How could I ask for 100? How could I ask for 200? And then we really broke down with our CFO and what was necessary to build the ground level of this company would be $1 million. And I felt my heart palpitating, thinking, how can I ask for that? You know, and I thought, once you feel confident and comfortable and you have the courage to actually go out there and ask, you'll see that it comes flooding to you when you actually believe it. And you can, it's almost like a magnet comes towards you. But if you're too scared or you're too doubtful or you don't believe it, it just won't come. So it's the same thing, whether it's a capital raise, whether it's asking for a collaboration, whatever it is, I feel like you have to ask the universe, ask the person directly, and really believe in it wholeheartedly.
Oh, amen to that. Thank you, Stacey. So we'll go with one more question.
Oh, I didn't hear the question. Did you ask it?
The question is, will community investors be able to have decision-making powers in the company trajectory and plans, in addition to being able to contribute some of their own fresh ideas?
Great question. Whoever asked that question, so thank you for that. No, so as the community investors through the front funder, there is a voting trust agreement, so you're not going to have voting rights. So you won't have input on in terms of what the new products are. And this is mainly just based on the level of finances that are going to be invested by so many different people. We're going to have the possibility of having 4,000 people, and to have 4,000 voices of what is going to be going for the company is not the best idea. So no, there is a voting trust that is set up that it will be one kind of voting that will be, basically it's my decision that goes through all the people who are in the front funder. So they're going under one voting trust agreement.
Awesome.
I think that we're pretty much at the time. We're trying to wrap up for 11 a.m. as we promised. I think we've been able to answer a lot of questions and give a lot of people some insight into the fashion industry and into your business. And we'd like to thank you for your time and also giving us so much insight.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. And you know, like I said to you before, it's really the ability to be seen is the thing that's most important. So I'm so grateful for this. I'm grateful for Young Black Professionals and for everybody who is watching here. I'm honored to have you. I'm grateful. I would love for you to be shareholders or part of this community, or just to share the information to anybody that you love or believe might care and want to invest or be a part of it as well.
Do you have your social media handles, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram?
You would throw them all out there. So I am designer Stacey Martin on Instagram, and it's Stacey Martin Lifestyle on Facebook, Instagram, my business as well, Stacey Martin Lifestyle. But we can put it in the chat. I think I can do that.
Yes, good idea. Get that.
Yeah, but it's at Stacey Martin Lifestyle and designer Stacey Martin.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Stacey, for joining us today. And thank you to you all for joining YBP. We are so fortunate and so happy that you were able to join us today for this insightful conversation. And be on the lookout for our next event. We'll be sharing that on our social media platforms as well. Thank you to you all, and have a good weekend.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.